I trust we're good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from. All right, it's indeed another moment with us. And for this night discussion, we want to consider something very important. All right. And I'll really crave our attention. As you're just connecting, please do well to give this live stream a thumbs up by double tapping on your screen if you're yet to subscribe. This is a channel where you get content as it relates with health, business, motivation, religion, as well as things that have to do with your growth. All right. So, if you're a lover of any aspect that I've mentioned, any of those aspects, whether it be business, health, motivation, religion, and so on, then you're in the right place. You can do well to subscribe so that whenever contents like this drop, you'll be among the first persons to actually see them. Okay. Now, on this night discussion, we want to talk about why families crack down. Why families crack down. It's important that we actually consider topics like this because, in person, my recent experiences, especially in the health sector, with certain issues I've come or have had encounter with, it seems to be traceable to the family. Precisely that have to do with mental health. There is a significant relationship between most mental health condition and the family for which the person is coming from. And that's why we want to talk about this particular topic, why families crack down. So, what exactly are those reasons why family would crack down? What is actually a crackdown and all those things? Those are things we are going to be looking at, okay? Now, when we talk about a crackdown, it simply means bringing something completely and totally down, trying to eliminate something. So, what we are saying here is that crackdown simply means asserting control, often in a harsh manner or a harsh pattern, on someone else's choice, typically from a position of authority, right? That's a crackdown. So a crackdown simply means you are asserting control. Usually it is in a harsh manner over someone else's choice, and then typically from a position of authority. It simply means that you are the one. If you are cracking down someone, you are exerting control on that person in an aggressive way, in a harsh manner, with the intention for you to control that person, and at the same time you are in position of authority. So when we talk about family crackdown, we are talking about how families are brought down due to certain factors for which we are going to be considering, right? So we have already said what crackdown means. Example, a teen being grounded for dating someone of another religion. A teen, there's a teenager being grounded down for being in a relationship with someone from another religion could be a form of crackdown. The next one is parent threatening to stop supporting their children if they pursue a non-traditional career. For instance, someone who is from a Muslim background that is studying a course that is not related to that particular religion, that does not promote the values of that religion, the parent could threaten to disassociate themselves from that child. So that is a form of crackdown. They are exerting control in a harsh manner on that child's choice. Now, the next one we want to consider, right? A moment, please. Just a moment. Okay, so I'm still with us. So, another form of it, families cutting off children who came out as the LGBTQ movement, right? So when families disassociate themselves from any child, they tend to discover that this child is actually onto the LGBTQ association, right? So that is a form of crackdown. It's a form of crackdown. Now, this isn't just discipline, it is about imposing belief and preserving family norms, often at the cost of the individual's emotional well being. So, whenever we're talking about family crackdown, it is not just about disciplining the individual, it is about imposing beliefs and then with the intention to preserve family norms, often at the cost of the individual's emotional well-being, meaning that they don't care what the child feels. They don't want to understand what is the child's opinion. So they want the child to actually follow the family pattern. The child must be obedient. The rules, the culture of the family, the child must follow it. Hi, editor. Thank you for having me here. I'm so glad for having you here. Thank you, everyone, for connecting. I'm so grateful for having every one of us here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please do well to double tap your screen just to give this live stream a thumbs up. Do well to double tap your screen, okay? Thank you, editor. I'm so grateful for having you here. So, when we talk about crackdown, all right, it is a topic that, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, when we talk about family crackdown, it is a topic that cuts across generation, cultural norms, religion, different educational background, and so on. Whether it is a parent forbidding a child from a particular relationship or disapproving of the child's career choice or silencing his personal identity, the tension can be very intense. The outcome of family crackdown can be very intense, where you have made a decision. Okay, say for instance, your parents married someone from Algeria, and then they made it as a standard that anybody that must marry from this family must be from Algeria. So chances have it that you fell in love with someone from, let's say, Zambia, and your parents decide that it's either you stop or you quit from that relationship or you forget about being a member of that family. It can have an overwhelming effect on the child's emotional well-being, on that person's emotional well-being. That is a form of crackdown. So it is not just about the discipline. It is not a form of discipline. It's about the intention of the family trying to preserve a particular norm. Thank you everyone for connecting. Thank you everyone. I'm so grateful. Thank you everyone for connecting. Please do well to like the live stream. Do well to like the live stream. Now, we're saying by what really is behind these crackdowns, this family crackdown? Is it love? Is it a form of love? Or is it someone in attempt to exert control on other persons? Or is it as a result of fear? What are the factors behind family crackdowns? What are the factors? Is it an act of love? Is it an act of exerting control on every single child, every single person that comes from the family? Or is an act of exerting fear, instilling fear into members of the family? What exactly? We are going to consider all those things. So you let us know your opinion in the comment box. If have there been a point where you want to take a particular career line, and then your parents say, no, if it is not this career, then it is nothing, or we don't want you to take that career, choose another one, whereas this is something you are passionate about? Is there anyone among us that is actually having such scenario? Is there anyone that have suffered from such scenario? Please let us know in the comment box. Have there been a point, say you fell in love with some, oh, thank you so much, Twinnie, thank you so much, thank you so much, I'm so grateful for having you here, thank you so much. Nigeria have happened to me right now. Sorry, let me connect my lighting. Just a moment. Twinnie, thank you so much. I saw your live stream, but I was coming on live too, so I had to say maybe I'll check up some other time. Interestingly, you were actually live on both accounts. You were actually live on both accounts. So okay. I just pray they restore this power for me. Okay, since you were test running something, the other day you were making a video. You were making a video and then you were also recording. Yeah, I noticed the other day you were making a video, I think, where you were talking about how to get subscriber, I think exactly. So I was thinking maybe, were you test running or making a video or something? It's well, it's well. It's well. I suppose it's work related, right? Oh, okay. It's fine. God will help us. God will help us. Thank you so much for having you here. Thank you so much. We're just discussing. It's well, oh, it's well. Even at my end, I'm just trying my best. I don't want to lose my monetization, especially when it's almost getting to a year. So I am trying to catch up with watch hour. That's just what I'm trying to do. Yes, so yes, we can only try our best. God will help us. Yes, so yeah, thank you everyone for connecting. I can see us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can do what to like the live stream. You can do what to like the live stream. So we are talking about family crackdown. Why do family crack down? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, Twinnie. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. So we're saying, why do family crack down? So we're considering, and I'm asking, is there any one of us on this live stream where there is a particular career, there's a particular profession you love so much, and then your family says they don't like that profession, so you want to quit, you want to actually quit, you want to change to another profession, not because you wish to, but because your family wants you to do so. That is a form of crackdown we are talking about. Sorry, a moment, let me add up another lighting so that it can be a bit clearer. Okay. Yeah, I'm still with us. I'm almost done. I'm still with us, please. So that it can be a bit clearer, I want to add another light. Okay. I'm still with us. Okay, okay. Okay. I think we can continue at this point. All right, I think it's a bit better now. Yeah, it's better now. Okay. Okay, yeah, Twinny, I think it's better now. I had to add a bit. All right. I pray me that is actually photophobic. I pray I will be able to cope for long. All right. So we are saying that family crackdown can come in various forms. And then we have already built the background by saying that family crackdown actually deal with exerting control over members of the family with intentions that certain norms of the family are preserved, certain beliefs of the family, certain traditions of the family, certain cultural aspects of the family are preserved. And then we are saying that with that intention that may be rationalized as being good, as being perfect, has a negative implication on members of the family. But this would not just happen in one day. It takes time. It's only take a little more time for it to completely show that the intention or the act of trying to control the decision of members of the family actually have a later on implication, right? So they manifest in various aspects. We have talked about the aspect of career choice. We've talked about the aspect of relationship. We have talked about the aspect of identity. Those are three most important areas family crackdown can have a negative effect. So I was actually asking earlier that have there been any point anyone wishes to, maybe the profession you find yourself today is not what you intended, or you are even at the point where you want to go into the profession you love, but your family are telling you no, it must be a particular profession, any it is either that one or nothing. And then, or you are at the point where you love someone so much, but because he's not from the religion, the tribe, or it's not from the country where your people want you to get married to. And then that is where you find yourself. Let us know in the comment box. And then, on the other hand, do you have or do you belong to a sexual orientation for which is not accepted from where you're coming from? Right? Those are things we are considering. And we're saying that this act of family crackdown, is it an act of love? Is it an act of love? That's the first point. Is it an act of control? That's the second. Or is it an act of instilling fear? Now, mind you that when we talk about family crackdown, we are saying that it is the act of controlling, exerting control on the choices and decisions of individual. The act of exerting control on the choices and decision of individual in a harsh pattern, usually with the intention to maintain a particular norm, a particular family norm, a particular cultural norm, a particular religious norm. There is an intention. That intention is mostly or is usually that relates with religion, relates with culture, relates with family, right? Now, let's go to the next one. Well, I haven't established what a crackdown, family crackdown is, which we have said, that it means asserting control, often harshly on someone else's choice, typically from a position of authority. Now we have mentioned several examples. Now, what are the psychological and emotional motivations behind family crackdown? What are the psychological and emotional motivations? Family often crack down out of fear of social failure. Most family they crack down out of fear of social failure. Okay? For instance, parents worry that a child's mistake will reflect poorly on the family. A child's mistake. So let's travel a bit onto the scripture, for instance, all right? In the scripture, there is Jacob has had a daughter called Dinah. Now, from where the belief, the religious background where Jacob comes from, females should only have sexual relations with their partner in wedlock and not out of wedlock. But Dinah got exposed to persons from other religious orientation, and then she got pregnant along the process. You could see the reaction that comes from his brother, for which they had to unalive a lot of persons as a result of this. Because the persons are not from the same religious background as them. So that is an act of family crackdown. They saw it as an act of failure in their part, that one person mistake can be a family failure. So for instance, a child who gets pregnant out of wedlock, the family may consider it that the society will look at them as having a poor moral standard. You get? So that they want to do everything possible to, if the child does not agree to get rid of that pregnancy, then they want to disassociate themselves from that child. That's a form of family crackdown. Does it have a negative effect? We are going to consider it at the later part of this discussion. Does it have a negative effect? If you know already, you can let us know in the comment box if you know it has a negative effect. But if you are of the opinion that family standards, family decisions, family culture should stand, it should be either it or nothing. Let us know in the comment box, okay? Now, we're saying that parents worry that a child's mistake will reflect poorly on the family. That's one instance. Next one, in some cultures, a daughter getting pregnant out of wedlock is seen not just as her failure, but the family's failure. That's one, we have already explained that. The next one is projection of unresolved trauma. Okay, thank you so much, Twinny. Twinny says it has a negative effect. I want you to share with us, what are those possible negative effects you foresee from trying to crack down the decision, the choices of the children, of the child? So parents, we're talking about the second one now, say projections of unresolved trauma. Parents who struggled financially may force kids into stable but unhappy careers. Okay, yeah, it has psychological trauma, exactly. Let's say, for instance, the child actually loved that person. The child loved the person. Or maybe that was that child's opportunity. Okay, let's just use this instance where maybe the child lived a wayward life, for instance, and then that was her. She saw that as a chance for her to, if there was any opportunity for her to ever raise a child. Or in other instances, she may see it as an opportunity for her to hold on to that man because they love each other. But because the family do not approve of that relationship, it can have a depressive psychological effect on that child. That's what exactly. That's what my twinnies are trying to explain. Thank you so much, Castro. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. God bless you. So the second one we're talking about is projection of unresolved trauma. So a parent who came from a poor financial background may want any child that comes from his or her womb should study or should be should take a particular career path that would bring money, that will amass wealth to the family, or we want that child to marry to a particular class of family. So if you don't meet up with that expectation, they will not approve of the marriage. If you don't meet up with that, and you could see they could go a long way, they may go a long way to sponsor you if it is that career, if it is that particular profession that, say for instance, a mother who struggled and came out of a very poor family background would want any child out of that family to be either the most thriving profession, for instance, a doctor, a lawyer, may want the child to be an engineer. And then when the child now decides to go into that profession, they will spend anything on earth that it costs for that child to succeed in that profession. But when the child do not want, maybe the child have seen that intellectually he or she does not have that capacity that will carry him for that profession, and then decide, oh, I don't think I'll be able to do well in this profession, and then decide to go to the one that his intellectual capacity will carry. You see, no, especially when that child comes and asks for money for handouts or school fee, the kind of response you will get is not something that will be appealing at all. So we're saying that that act is a form of family crackdown. It's an act of the family trying to crack down the decision, the choices of those children, right? So that's another one. So this, we're saying that on this second option, the crackdown could come as a result of a psychological trauma that the parents had faced in the past. Now let's go to the next one. Okay, we have talked about that. Okay, an example, a father who never got to study medicine, insisting his child become a doctor. I've already elaborated on that. The third one, love mixed with control. Love mixed with control. Remember, there are different forms of parenting styles. Sorry, I have to adjust this light a bit. My power has been restored so that my eyes can be able to, a moment, I'm coming, my eyes can be able to cope. All right, I think I'm with us now. So we're saying that on the third one, love that is mixed with control, there are different forms of parenting. There are those that actually copy the laissez-faire kind of parenting style, where they don't care. Everybody go your way. Everybody do as you like. And then there are those ones that it is the how do they call this particular? It's very domineering kind of parenting style that is very strict, very strict. So there are different forms of parenting style. The intention from the part of the parents may be an act of love. It may be a form of love to them, but psychologically it is having an effect on the child. So whether it is an act of love, as long as it is trying to control, to exact control on the decision and the choices of that child, it is a form of crackdown. So we are saying that love that is mixed with control, they fear harm and act out protectively, but without dialogue. So your parents have foreseen, in this instance, your parents have foreseen that if you continue on the path that you are going, it is possible that you may face some level of danger. Possibly, it is as a result of a past memory. Your parents have seen that when they took that particular step, they had a negative outcome, and then you are trailing towards the same direction. They don't want you to suffer the same harm. But instead of them discussing it out with you, my child, this is what I faced. This is the outcome of me taking this path. Yes, exactly, Twinnie. It is an act of love Any action most parents portray, it is mostly an act of it's coming from a depth of love, but the pattern may not be appealing to the child, which is what we're talking about in this point. That what they would have done, most parents would have done, is to dialogue with their children. It's just like one of the instances that I had to explain to one of my relative. The child is like, but I grew up to meet my father drinking. I grew up meeting my father smoking. And then he's telling me not to smoke. He's telling me not to drink. And you know that children learn more through observation. Children learn more through observation, much more than verbal words, much more than what the parent tell them. Children tend to learn and to grow through observation. So for you to be able, as that kind of parent, to be able to tell your child, because you now trying to tell your child not to do substance, is coming from the experience you have had as a user. Because most substance users, in the later phase, especially at the point of addiction, they are already trying to look for how to come out of it. They're already fighting with it. So they don't want the child to also encounter similar thing. They don't want the child to face similar thing. So whenever they see you following bad friends, they respond aggressively, especially if it was in the same pattern that they started using substance. Or whenever they see you, even the worst of it is when they see you using the substance. It may even be as light as even a beer. The way they will react to it, it is because of the memory they had, the negative memory in the past. So mostly it is as a result of love. It's an act of love. But what we are saying is that as long as there is no dialogue at all while trying to correct that child, it is a form of family crackdown. Now, for those who may love to find out interesting aspects of this discussion, you could check out books such as The Drama of the Gifted Child by Alice Miller, which will tell you about parenting from the inside out which will tell you more things about parenting. And then we have another book, Parenting from Inside Out by Daniel J. That's another book you could make reference to. Now, the third one is cultural or societal influence. Cultural or societal influence. Collectivist culture, for instance, India, Nigeria, and China emphasize family honor over personal freedom. Collectivist cultures such as India, China, and Nigeria, they emphasize family honor over personal freedom. So what are we saying? We are saying that certain cultures such as that of Nigeria, China, and so on, that whatsoever as a child you are doing, if it will not bring honor to the family, then it is not what they love. That's why those days, let's say 2 decades away, whenever a child tells the father, I want to do music, they look at, we have lost this one. Why should you even think of doing music? But looking at our current times, looking at the current moment, you find out that musicians do better than most professions. They do better than most professions. So those cultures that all their focus is on maintaining the family name, the family honor, they are actually cracking down the child, their offsprings. Now, immigrant families often feel pressure to preserve cultural identity in a foreign land, leading to more rigid rules. Now, on this one, you could have, let's say for instance, someone that is a Muslim, or someone that is an Igbo speaking person. Because the person the suitor that is coming is not from their own tribe, so the family may not give approval to that marriage. It is a form of family crackdown. All right, it is a form of family crackdown. It's actually a form of family crackdown. Now, having considered all these things we have been talking about, now let's go back to the point we started. We are saying all this act of crackdown, is it a form of discipline or an act of control? Is it a form of offering support or is a form of suppression? What exactly is it? Where you are imposing cultural, moral, and religious expectations on the child. What exactly is it? We have earlier said that no matter how you see it, mostly it comes from the heart of love, but it has psychological implications, right? Is it an act to overcome failure or social judgment? What is it? Is it an act of overcoming fear of failure or social judgment? Where parents fear kids making irreversible mistakes. We have already explained this earlier. Is it a desire for protection? What exactly is it? Often framed as love. I'm doing this for your own good. You hear your parent telling you, I'm doing this for your own good. What exactly is it? That will take us to the next aspect we need to consider. All right? When crackdown backfire, when crackdown backfires, when crackdown backfires. We have earlier said, does family crackdown have implication? Those are the things we want to consider now. Does family crackdown have implications? The first implication is emotional estrangement. Now, this is it. I have 2 clients that are currently suffering from anxiety disorder. Tracing back the roots of this anxiety. On one side, both parents were actually Muslims. The mother and the father were not staying together at some point, although based on occupational reasons. All right, it was based on occupational reasons. The work locations. The child was actually with the father. He was with the father. The father did not allow the child to stay with the mother. What was his reason? He said the mother beats the child. He doesn't like children being beaten, so the mother beats the child so much, so that the children should stay with him, so that whenever the mother is around, he can monitor how his children are being treated. Now, that already has an issue. What is the issue? There is a role that women in the life of children play that men can never fix it. Likewise, there is a role that fathers play in the life of their children that no matter how the mother does, cannot fix that role. So it is a two-way thing. If one is missing, it will have a later consequence. The child now grew up. The mother will come to visit and go. Come to visit and go. Already, the child is already trying to identify, is this my mom or not? How is the child now describing the mother? I say, is just a woman that comes to visit me and go. And they used to tell me that is my mother. They used to tell me that is my mother. You can see where it came from. So, when this child, along the way, they happen to lose the father. And they lost the father. know that this child grew up a greater part of her life because it was towards the period where she was about wrapping up with secondary school that the incident happened. The child is already at a teenage age where she have already built a religious stance. She have already built opinions as to what her sexual orientation should be. She have already built opinions as onto what her kind of friends should be. Because that motherly presence to really monitor that child was not there. So the child, when the father passed on, the child decided to move on to Christianity. The mother too, on the other hand, moved on to Christianity. Now, when they both moved on, everybody moved on to the religion they wanted. They were still not worshiping at the same church or the same denomination. You could see another identity crisis. So the child now, at that point, is now suffering from anxiety issues that stem up from what is the meaning of life? What does it mean? Like a lot of questions are there. A lot of questions are there that the child is trying to answer. That presence of the mother, she have missed that figure. What does it feel like? What does it feel like for a mother to be in the life of a child? Now, how did this relate? Her own children, she's not even with the children. The children are in possession of the father's mother. Because she didn't see that love, she can't express it to her own children. So, these family crackdowns, it leads to emotional estrangement. Children emotionally or physically distance themselves from the parent. That is what it leads to. When there is a crackdown, you are trying to exact your decision on the child. When you are forcing your opinion on the child, in an attempt, especially when the child have reached or crossed that adolescent stage, he or she will start distancing his or herself from you, will not be able to be open up very well to tell you the trials they are going through, the challenges they are going through. They don't feel safe around you. Because, for instance, let me use myself. At some point, I had to move to another denomination while my parents maintained different denomination. Now, what do you say? When it comes to religious discussion, I can't feel secure to talk about it with my mom because she belonged to another denomination. And then there's a little bit of how do they call it? Doctrinal differences. A little bit of doctrinal differences. So there are certain things we can't discuss when it comes to religion because of the slight doctrinal differences. So this is what happens. The children will start distancing themselves from the parents. So I don't know if this live stream is actually making sense to us. It's actually useful. It's quite informative. Let us know in the comment box, please. Let us know in the comment box if you're actually following through, you actually like the contents of the live stream. Let us know in the comment box. I really appreciate every one of us that have stayed glued up until this point. I really appreciate us all. We'll soon be wrapping up. So we're talking about the implications of family crackdown. The first one we have talked about is emotional estrangement. We're saying that the children, yeah, thank you so much, Twinnie. Thank you so much for having you up till now. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're saying that the children will distance themselves from the parents. They will not feel free to tell the parents the challenges, to express themselves very well on challenges they are passing through. The second one is that they'll live a secret life or a rebellious life, either of it. Okay, Twinnie, it's fine, Twinnie. So the children will either live a rebellious life or they'll live a secret life. They'll be very secretive in whatsoever they are doing. Either they are rebellious to the decisions of the parent. Because imagine you are, let's say for instance, the female now is age 30, the man is age 37 or 40, and then the person he happened to finally fall in love with, they say no, If it is not this one, then nothing. Or let's say the child have struggled and struggled and struggled. It keeps failing. Let's use Nigeria for instance. You have written JAMB 4 times, 5 times. You are not getting the course that your parents want you to study. And then the one you were up to, at least is something tangible around the area where you have passion for. And then your parents say, no, it must still be what they wanted. You see, that child will withdraw. The child will distance herself from the parent. Will start becoming rebellious. The child will say, no, at this point, I think I've gotten it to my neck. It must be my own decision this time. It's not every time that your own decision will always stand. At this very time, it is my decision or nothing. That is an act of rebellion that can crop up from family crackdown. What's the next one? So when youth hide relationships, jobs, or identities, I've already explained that. Now we have mental health consequences. Most of the children will start suffering guilt if their decision did not go as they planned. Remember that parents, while trying to correct their children, most of them are correcting from the standpoint of emotional history. So when they do so, it is because of an history they had in the past. But the children may not see it in that way because of the approach for which the parents used. Now, when the children now fall victim of the same circumstance, they'll start feeling guilty. They'll start feeling guilty. This can lead to depression. It can lead to the loss of self-worth. Like one of those children I'm talking about that is suffering from anxiety issue. He doesn't even know if his decision is reliable again, because almost every decision he was making, the parents are kicking against it. So it makes the child feels inadequate. He feels that his opinion does not count. His decisions does not count. That in fact, when he wants to make a decision, it's like, are my parents even going to approve of this one? Am I making the best decision? Is this decision going to be welcomed at home? So it gives them low self-esteem. It makes them have a low self-worth. The way they estimate themselves, that courage is not there at all. So for instance, the LGBTQ plus youth being disowned or forced into conversion therapy, most of them would start becoming anxious, right? Talented individuals abandoning passions due to parental rejection. So you'll now find out that most of them, they may not do better. Something you don't like. You thrive in a profession that you have passion for. If you never had passion for any profession, you will not do well in it. That's the mental health implication of family crackdown. You can take reference from Untamed by Glennon Daly, which discusses breaking free from inherited expectations. This book talks about you breaking through from inherited expectations. Those expectations that your family has made. It is like a family, it runs in the family line. Everybody that is from this family must meet this particular standard, must keep to this status quo. Statistics from the Trevor Project, which show impact of family rejection on the LGBTQ plus and the youth mental health. All right. Now, the next one we want to consider is when it comes from a place of love. Crackdown as misguided expression of love. I gave out everything for you. I don't want you to suffer like I did. Now, can love actually coexist? Can love and control coexist? Yes, love and control can coexist. So, how do you now manage it? As a parent, looking at your own history, how you suffered from the negative effect of family crackdown, where your decisions never counted, your decisions were always suppressed, your decisions were always brought down, you never had an option to make your choice. If you look at that psychological implication to you, that means for your own children, you don't need to also exact the same pressure, although the tendencies are there, but you don't need to exact them. You have to give your children that opportunity to enjoy what you never had the privilege to by dialoguing with them. Tell them the right, tell them the wrong, tell them the advantage, tell them the disadvantage, and leave it on the table for them to decide which or what is good for them. Leave it on the table. Let them decide. Let them be the one to make the decision. Healing and moving forward. How do you get healing? How do you get healing? How do you move on as someone who is suffering from family crackdown? There will be need for family therapy. It is not something that have to do with the children alone. Even the parents should be involved in the therapy so that they could find out the history. They should go deep into the roots of how the parents, their childhood was like, the traumas they faced, how they were able to navigate their life, and why their decisions are trying to overshadow the choices of the children. And then they'll also bring together the decisions of the children, trying to strike a chord between compromise, right? Trying to compromise at some point to ensure that the child's decision, the child's opinion is not totally put to the floor or under the carpet, right? So family therapy is one of those effective ways to manage family crackdown. The second one is journaling. Journaling. So you should, as a parent, you should try to have moment to reflect through how the decisions of your family, decisions of your culture, decisions of your parents have negatively influenced you. Make a journal of them. And then see how it is already affecting your own children. See how it is already affecting them. And then see how to, on time, look and prefer solution to it. See how to address it on time. Meditation, there is need for meditated conversations, especially in major life decisions. Don't just be in a haste because you suffered, you were a victim of that circumstance. You are in a haste wanting to stop the child. Sometimes ponder over it so that you really get the right words to use, the right approach to go about it. There's need for setting boundaries without disrespect. So from both ends, there's need to set boundaries without disrespect. Teach audience how to engage without conflict. So you have to say how to, if you have someone close to you suffering from such thing, how they can be able to go about it with their parents or their sponsors. So sometimes you need to discuss with someone that's sponsoring you, maybe your parent, maybe your uncle, maybe anyone around you. Try to discuss the reason why you love that decision, and then try to see things from both standpoints so that you can be able to make a wise decision. Breaking circles. Recognizing patterns and not repeating them. So, as a parent, as I've earlier said, sometimes we that are growing up to become the parents of this generation, we have to see the patterns that are played through our family tree. See those patterns. And then see how to pick out the ones that affected us and then target it headlong and ensure it doesn't affect the future ones. So you have to recognize those patterns, not ensure that they don't repeat themselves. Break out of those circles. If you are someone that you're already having this PTSD, suffering from the effect of family crackdown, See how to break the circle, break free from the circle, using all these options we have recommended. I could also refer us to a book, It Didn't Start With You by Mark Woolley. It Didn't Start With You. It will be an interesting book you want to read. You'll find out how inherited trauma shapes family behavior. You get to find out things like that. How inherited traumas shape family behaviors. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay is another book I would like to recommend. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay C. Gibson. To help you to learn how to navigate complex parent-child dynamics. How to navigate complex parent-child dynamics. Now, at this point, before we wrap up, have you ever been cracked down? Have you ever been cracked down on by family for a life decision? Let us know in the comment box. Do you think your family's actions were actually an act of love towards you, or they were an act of controlling you? What do you think? Are you a victim of family crackdown? Someone that the decision of the family towards your career, towards your relationship, towards your identity is what is actually affecting you now? Do you think you are a victim of it? Let us know in the comment box. And then, do you think their control, the control of the parents, your parents' decision on you, they were an act of love, or it was an act of control, an act of suppression? Let us know in the comment box. It is important for us to note that crackdown is often rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear. It's rooted in tradition or trauma, not always malice. It is not an act of malice. Most family crackdown is deeply rooted. You can trace them to tradition. You can trace them to fear. Fear that dangers may occur from the child's decision. Fear from the children suffering from what they had suffered, which is as a result of trauma. It is not always an act of malice. There's a difference between protection and possession. That is what we should learn. Where you are imposing your decision on the children without simplifying, explaining, giving them reasons why their decisions may not be the best, it is you being possessive. But when you take time, you give it time to explain, to show them, using life scenarios, using your own experiences to share with your children why the decision they are making may not be the best option. It is an act that will be an act of love, an act of protection. But when you are imposing it without trying to give reasons, it is you being possessive. So it is important that we encourage empathy. We create boundaries between our own decision and that of the children. And then create an open dialogue between we and the children. So at this point, I don't know if we have any question. We want to end at this point. I would like us to end the discussion at this point. Do we have any question, any contribution, any suggestion? Let us know in the comment box. Any question, any suggestion, any contribution? We are going to be wrapping up at this point. Any question, any suggestion? Thank you everyone for connecting. I really appreciate every one of us. And for those who had connected earlier, my twinnie was here, editor was here, and some other persons, even those ones that are just connecting. I really appreciate every one of us. I really appreciate every one of us. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for having you here. And if you are here to give this live stream a thumbs up, please do well to double tap your screen. Do well to like this live stream. So we're discussing a family crackdown where we say it is an act of the parent exacting control on the decisions and the choices of the children, usually coming from a standpoint of fear, a standpoint of trauma, past experiences, a standpoint of maintaining traditions or cultural norms. And we're saying it have effects and so on, of which we have explained them. So at this point, we are giving room for questions and answer, for contributions and for suggestion. Is there any question, any contribution, any suggestion? In the absence of that, or maybe you are just connecting and you have not really gotten enough information about this discussion, you can actually watch the rebroadcast again. It is actually an informative and a very impactful section. I believe you really benefit from it. So let us know in the comment box. Even when you watch the video, you can also drop a question, suggestion, contribution, or recommendation in the comment box. I would really appreciate. Thank you everyone for coming this far. So at this point, we would like to end. I look forward to that moment when this channel becomes our most favorite click. But for now, stay safe everyone. Cheers.